Coming up on ATV News, Maymoe is giving away free breakfast, but not to everyone. We'll tell you why. Women marched last year to protest Trump. We'll show you why they're back at it again. Getting distracted is easy. We'll show you how to stay in the now.
In sports, Brock Miller tied his career three-point record. How many do you think it was?
All that and more, this is ATV News.
Welcome to ATV News. I'm Christy Akin.
And I'm Ariana Piper.
The inmate who escaped from a community work project on Thursday is back in jail. The inmate was working here at the American West Heritage Center when the Cache County Sheriff's Office says he stole a truck and escaped. Joshua Aders was found in Farmington on Monday night and was booked into the Davis County Jail. He is being held without bail until he returns to the Cache County Jail. Aders was supposed to be released from jail in May, but after his escape, the sheriff's office says he might be held a little longer.
On Monday, the Box Elder jury found former USU linebacker Torrey Green guilty of 5 counts of rape, 1 count of forcible sexual abuse, and 1 count of object rape. The charges come after 6 women accused Green of sexually assaulting them. The jury will announce Green's sentence on March 27th. He now faces up to life in prison.
In tough times, people stick up for one another. That's what one local business is doing during the government shutdown. McKay Jensen has the story.
Come next Saturday.
Maymoe's restaurant in South Logan is opening their doors early Saturday mornings to give breakfast to those who could use a helping hand.
Yeah, we're just feeding families that have been furloughed on this government shutdown, now going on 3-4 weeks or what have you. A few weeks back, we just decided that there was probably some stuff we could do to help, and so every Saturday we're just holding breakfast for anybody furloughed, family members, everybody just come in and eat, and it's been a great deal. We've really enjoyed it.
Jason says originally this was meant to help the furloughed employees, but now they have opened their doors to many more.
Maymoe says they'll feed anyone who's hungry, and that includes a poor college student like myself.
Volunteers and employees dedicate their Saturday mornings to help those who could use a hand. Jason's 2 kids also help out.
I think I've heard Jason mention a few times that he's going to be here every Saturday until it goes down, so he wants to help people out.
Jason says the community has stepped up. Many businesses donated food to help Maymoe's in helping others.
Oh, I think these guys have a large heart and are very concerned about people that are put into this situation. I don't know, I think it's great that these guys are willing to do this, and they seem happy about it too.
We just want people to take advantage of it. It's come out and use it. You know, I always tell people, don't be prideful. Things happen. Come out and take advantage of it. I mean, we're here early. We have the donations. Use it. We enjoy doing what we do. So absolutely come out and use it.
McKay Jensen, ATV News.
As long as the government is shut down, Maymoe's will continue to feed whoever is hungry on Saturday morning.
Women all over the country took to the streets this weekend. ATV's Bobby Russell shows you how people in Logan made their voices heard.
We will win!
Women, children, and men made the Logan courthouse louder than most Saturdays.
Now let's go out and fight. No justice.
These people behind me have gathered for one thing, to have their voice be heard.
And the response was overwhelming.
But marches like this start at a drawing board. Anna Peterson advocates for people with disabilities in a club she founded on USU campus.
In the Western medical system, you often are a victim of not abuse but neglect.
Be strong in whatever way represents strength to you.
Anna Peterson advocates for people with disabilities in a club she founded on USU's campus.
So whatever little differences we have, to be able to come together in marches like this, to be able to work for the common good.
Organizers say they put together the event to bring awareness to what they call intersectionality.
identifies as an intersectional feminist, which to me means that women's issues cannot be generalized as to the same for all women.
It was a terrific march today and rally. We had a great diversity of people speaking.
Bobby Russell, ACV News.
Organizers say there was about 200 people at the march.
The Union and Central Pacific Railroads met in 1869 in Utah. This week, a nonprofit opened a new exhibit celebrating this year's anniversary. People gathered on Wednesday to celebrate 150 years since workers placed the golden spike that finished the Transcontinental Railroad. The exhibit features old photos and objects from the time showing what life was like while building the railway. Speakers honored contributions from the Chinese, African American, and Irish workers. U.S. President Noel Cockett also spoke and invited people to celebrate the historic anniversary.
People could celebrate by taking a ride on a train, going out to visit Promontory, and visiting our exhibit.
The exhibit will be at the Capitol until June, and then it will move to the USU Library. Zachary Ado joins us for weather. How are things looking out there?
Well, it looks like there aren't any snowstorms coming this week. However, I'll let you know if you need to bundle up for the rest of the week.
Let's hope there's no more snow coming.
The current temperature in Logan is 31 degrees.
Coming up, you might notice more paw prints in Logan parks. We'll show you why.
It may not be a one-horse open sleigh, but one ranch will give you a sleigh ride different from most.
Thanks for calling the GED Pep Talk Center. Jerry Stiller speaking. Your level 7 in-your-face pep talk.
I can keep pushing you. Believe me, I'm good at it. But at some point, you're going to need to start pushing yourself.
See, once you've got your GED diploma, you'll feel so good about yourself.
You tell them. You can't change your past, but you can definitely change your future. That makes me so happy, I'm ready to bust out a dance.
Mr. Trejo, can I transfer this guy to you? My gentle technique isn't really working. You need something a little more
persuasive.
Yes.
You listen, and you listen good.
Hey, where's my sandwich? Terry? Terry!
Take it from me, the King DMC. It's a real cool thing to get your GED.
Get that diploma!
Now hold on and we'll find you free GED classes. Capiche?
Whatever motivation you need, we've got a pep talk for you. Get your GED pep talk and find free classes at yourged.org.
They said I couldn't dream. Called me a piece of trash and swore that's all I'd ever be. Said a bottle couldn't see the ocean. Give up. Go back to the dumpster. But I didn't listen. I made my way. And now, I am what I've always wanted to be.
Welcome back. My name is Zachary Ado, and I'll be giving you today's weather report. So let's start with the national radar. So here on the West Coast, there doesn't seem to be much action going on here. But if you're planning a trip to the northern eastern coast, right over here, you should know that there are some major flash flood warnings currently in place due to heavy storm and rain. So please plan accordingly. Let's move on to the state radar. So also not much going on here, of course. However, on Monday, we did have a snowstorm throughout central and northern Utah. And that was pretty dangerous. It led to some really dangerous driving conditions. The Utah Highway Patrol reported that there were 234 crashes across the state on that day alone. So there aren't any snowstorms coming in the next 7 days, but you should still be driving cautiously, paying close attention to snow and ice on the road. Also at the state level, there's not much wind coming into Utah, which means that smog and inversion levels will continue to rise, especially it'll stay across the valley floor in Cache County. So if you'd like to improve the air quality, you should try carpooling with some friends or riding the public transport. And so now let's finally move on to the 7-day forecast. So for the rest of this week, there will be a little snow. You can expect between 20 to 30% chance of very light snow showers and flurries. Those will start tonight and will probably end early tomorrow morning. So if you're a skier and a snowboarder, you should definitely take advantage of that because through the rest of the weekend, it'll be sunny. The lows will be 30. It'll probably stay most of that time, or it'll stay at that temperature throughout most of the week. That's all for today. Back to you, Ariana.
Thanks, Zachary. Michael Kay joins us live to tell us more about a recent Logan City public input meeting. Hi, Michael.
Hi, Ariana. So if you have a dog, you probably know how hard it is to find a public park that allows you and your dog in the same place. However, that might be changing in the next few months.
Tuesday night, Logan City held a public input meeting that proposed a 12-month program allowing dogs into 9 public parks that previously did not allow dogs.
You know, allowing it in some of the parks would be a good idea for Logan and its economy because I can see how it would bring a lot more people into the city.
The meeting was also meant to get community input about what some possible outcomes of the program would be.
You give the responsible dog owners an incentive to come out of the woodwork and bring them into the parks. That's when you're going to see a change, and a big one.
This program would allow more dogs to enter public parks. However, they would still have to be on a leash, and dog owners would be responsible for their waste bags.
This also means more trash bins would be publicly available to help provide ease of disposal for the selected park areas, keeping them cleaner for dogs and families alike.
You want to keep your families here? Bring dogs to parks.
Some feelings on the selected parks vary to a degree.
The ones around the kids do kind of make me a little bit nervous just because I do know that not all dog owners do control their dogs.
It's not grand by any means, but I mean, 18 years without dog parks, or dogs to be allowed in parks, I'm grateful for whatever we can, whatever they can help us with.
The pilot program will still need to be voted on by the City Council and put into action if it gets approved.
The City Council will hold a second meeting in February to get more community input on the program. Back to you, Ariana.
Thanks, Michael.
Are you even listening to me right now? A USU researcher says our brains wander 46% of the time. I asked students about their biggest distractions and got advice from an expert on how you can be more mindful.
Sit down. I don't think that's going to buff out. Your buff starts.
Distracting, right? Students agree and say these are some of the things keeping them from staying present.
I would say my laptop, my phone, Netflix, certainly.
Music, TV, social media, just background stress, all those kinds of things.
I always have an itch to check whenever my phone, especially if I feel it vibrating.
USU's family life specialist explains staying in the present as being mindful.
Mindfulness, it's kind of a buzzword today, and it really simply means paying attention to your thoughts, to the process of being mindful, again, in the moment of whatever you're doing.
Students say multiple screens and easy access right at their fingertips aren't the only things challenging them.
I have really intense anxiety a lot of the time, and I think for the most part, I'm okay at managing it in social situations, but when it gets really bad, I can't hold a conversation, I can't concentrate long enough to remember what you've said to me.
Schramm says for students, this isn't uncommon.
We tend to keep a lot in. There's a lot of stress. We're constantly thinking and worrying about things that are going on around us. That flow is more important today than it ever has before. Flow is one of my favorite words. It's that moment where you almost lose track of time because you're so immersed in an activity, whether it's playing the piano or reading a book or gardening or cooking with a family.
While we can't always be in a constant state of flow, Schramm recommends incorporating microflow activities into your everyday routines. So while at home brushing your teeth, you can do calf raises and lunges, and instead of listening to the radio, try a new podcast or just drive.
It seems simple, but students say they actively try to be present in the moment.
I think a lot of people listen to respond. I try to listen to listen.
When I'm like having social anxiety, just kind of like stepping away for a minute so I can like take a couple deep breaths and then going back in, and that way I can like still be with my friends and still hang out with them.
Instead of spending the time worrying about what I'm going to do in the future, maybe I should go enjoy what's happening right now over there.
Yeah, if I'm with friends or watching a movie, I try to keep my phone on airplane mode, no notifications, just enjoy my time with them.
That's a great idea, honestly. I find myself wasting so much time scrolling through social media, so I should try airplane mode as well. Okay, Hardware Ranch in Cache Valley is a safe haven for hundreds of elk every year. Emily Hill takes us on a ride to see how the elk are being helped.
At this elk observatory, volunteers feed over 600 elk multiple times throughout the day, December to February, keeping them off of the roads of Cache Valley and providing a place for them during their migratory winter months, where food is typically scarce.
Hardware Ranch feeds the animals to keep them from migrating into Cache Valley. This keeps us and the animals safe.
It's just not desirable to have somebody hit a 600-pound elk with their car. It's devastating to hit a deer, let alone an elk. Over time, they just know to come here.
The sleigh rides allow for us to get up close and personal to the elk. Visitors can take a sleigh ride through the park, where guides teach about the elk, the mission, and the ranch itself.
I was beginning to wonder at the time, but...
I am at Hardware Ranch because I love the mountains and I love wildlife, and I've heard awesome stories and experiences people have had here.
The herd is larger than what is typically seen in the wild, at about 600 strong.
Were it to be under wild circumstances, you probably wouldn't see a herd size over about 25 or so. So what we do here is kind of special.
A visit to the ranch will do more than just help you learn about the animals, but also see the efforts that they are taking to help protect them. Emily Hill, ATV News.
You can visit Hardware Ranch for their sleigh rides now through February 10th.
Josh Witzel joins us with sports.
What's going on this week in sports?
You know, we had a lot of things happening in sports this week. We had men's basketball, we have women's basketball, we have tennis, gymnastics, you name it. Lots of stuff going on. Coming up, this freshman plays like a senior. Do you agree? Speaking of freshmen, this one won her first college match. We'll show you why it was bigger than herself.
Coming up, we'll show you what brings these artists to Logan and why they're teaching for free.
We'll show you how one author meeting drummed up some fun at the library.
At the Utah State Journalism Department, we can't offer you a cool press hat. We can't offer you a spot on a blooper reel. We can't offer you easy A's. We can't offer you time off. We can't offer you ridiculously dramatic music playing in the background, or even my British voice. What we can offer you is an education that leads to a job that makes a real difference.
Inbound pass to Carvaggio, stolen by Keta. Keta wants to go coast to coast, and he does! Oh my gosh, what was that? Timeout, Colorado State.
Neemias Keita was looking like a guard on that play. He finished the day with a double-double, 18 points and 11 rebounds. He wasn't the only Aggie getting it done, though. I'm Josh Witzel. Let's get you back into these highlights. Keita wasn't just playing well on the offensive end. He challenges the shot at the rim, one of his 3 blocks for the game. Quinn Taylor finds a wide-open Brock Miller, and he connects on the three-pointer, one of 6 makes on the day. Miller is distributing too. He finds Keita in the paint, and he finishes with a dunk. After the Colorado State turnover, Sam Merrill with one of his 8 assists in the game for another Miller 3. Diogo Brito finds Taylor wide open under the rim, 2 of his 12 points. And here's Taylor again with a baseline drive and the slam dunk. He made 6 of his 8 shots from the field. Keita showing why he got 11 boards. He gets the rebound and the follow-up dunk. Here we go again, Merrill to Miller again. Miller shot 67% from 3, and the Aggies win this one 87-72.
We just got to keep on finding him, and he just got, when we find him, he will score.
Utah State extended their winning streak to 3 games, and they will be on the road Saturday at New Mexico. You can watch the game at 2 p.m. on CBS Sport Network. USU football is adjusting to a lot of new changes since last semester, and Aggie football fans are anxious to see what their new old coach will bring. President Noel Cockett and VP John Hartwell held a press conference to introduce Gary Anderson as the new head football coach. Athletes and fans were excited to see their coach from 6 seasons ago back in Logan. Anderson says after leaving and coming back, this is a place he'd like to stay.
In the interview, I don't have plans to go jump here and go coach there and go do this. This is, I would love to stay somewhere for a long period of time.
Community members who were at the press conference welcomed Anderson back with open arms. In addition to the coaching change, tight end Dax Raymond has announced that he will forego his senior season to enter the NFL draft this spring. Joining him in the early leave will be running back Darwin Thompson. He was here for 1 season in total and will also enter the NFL draft. This wasn't just any home game for the Aggies. Elementary school kids from across the valley were there to watch the Aggies take on the Spartans. Because of these kids, this might have been the loudest women's basketball game of the season. First quarter, Steph Gorman finds a wide open Shannon Duffesey, who finishes the layup. Duffesey had another big game for the Aggies. Here she is knocking down the corner 3. Duffesey stayed hot from 3, making another shot from behind the arc. She finished with 24 points. Haley Bassett was the Aggies' second leading scorer. She finished with 14 points. Aggies dominate the Spartans, winning this one 82-49. USU women's basketball player Shannon Duffesey has been named America First Credit Union Athlete of the Week. Duffesey has now tied the record for longest double-double streak in program history. She helped the Aggies get their first road win at Colorado State since 1980 and hit her career-high 24 points in last Wednesday's game against San Jose State. For Duffesey, this attention is something she is happy to bring to her team.
For the hard work that I have put in, but I think anyone on the team would be able to do this if they, had the confidence that the coaches have given me and that my teammates have given me. So.
The Aggies will face New Mexico at home this Saturday in the D. Glenn Smith Spectrum. Utah State hosted number 6 BYU at the D. Glenn Smith Spectrum. The Aggies were looking to get their second win of the year. Utah State was led by senior Madison Ward Sessions. Here she is on the vault. This routine scored a 9.8 from the judges. Sophomore Taylor Dittmar came second only to Ward Sessions on the beam, scoring a 9.775 on her routine. And again, Ward Sessions led the team on bars with a score of 9.750. Utah State lost this meet, however, 194.575 to 193.950. But the one bright spot was Madison Ward Sessions. She placed first in the all-around, scoring 39.225.
Come out and win the all-around on top of winning beam, which was great. I mean, I'm so excited for her.
Utah State's next meet is Friday at 11 a.m. against BYU in Provo. After losing on the road at Utah, the Aggie women's tennis team was looking to win their first home match of the season against Southern Utah University. In doubles, Utah State's team of Alexandra Taylor and Rhoda Tanui led the Aggies as they swept the Thunderbirds in singles. In singles, Taylor wasn't able to keep it going in the #1 match as she lost against Jana Weiss in 3 sets. With Utah State and Southern Utah both winning 3 matches, it was all on freshman Annalise County, and she came through for the Aggies, giving Utah State the 4-3 win over SUU and also winning her first collegiate match.
I just felt joy that I was able to bring our team a win, and it was a great day.
The women's tennis team's next match is against Akron on February 1st. In local high school basketball, Skyview was looking to win their 4th game in a row. They played Green Canyon. This game was close throughout as the 2 teams were tied entering the 4th quarter. Skyview down 5 with just under 2 minutes to play. Mason Falslev finds Malik Horman for the layup. Next possession, Skyview down 3. Falslev again spins and finishes the layup, 2 of his 29 points. Falslev finds John Bergeson, who drives, and then drops it off to Falslev, who puts down the easy 2. Skyview takes the lead, 70-69. But Green Canyon wasn't done. Senior Kason Holbrook gets into the paint and kicks it out to Spencer Patter, who knocks down the corner 3. Green Canyon takes a 2-point lead. Last chance for Skyview, and guess who it is? Falslev again with a step-back 3. It hits high off the rim, and Green Canyon wins possession on the jump ball. With 2 seconds left, Green Canyon is inbounding the ball. It gets patted around, and the clock runs out before Falslev can get the shot off. Green Canyon wins this one, 72-70. And that's all for ATV Sports. Back to you, Christy.
Thanks, Josh. USU held its 2nd annual Guitar, Bass, and Drum Festival. Featuring concerts and classes hosted by guest artists, ATV Nick's Porath shows us some of the events that the festival had to offer.
These artists are hosting a jam session that doubled as a free class. Or maybe you would rather get tickets to their concert.
We provide a day of workshops and master classes for everybody that wants to show up. They're free of charge, students as well as members of the community. For 2 nights we have concerts in the Wanless Russell Performance Hall that showcase the artists that we brought in.
This festival brings in musical talent from all across the country. And even if you're not a musician, you can still learn a thing or two.
There's a deep world of stuff that we could get into, and 1 hour plus, of course, is only scratching the surface.
For the topic of today's class,
we're going to talk about Afro-Cuban music and Brazilian music. We're going to talk about clave and what the bass does in that context, and what the drums do in that context, and what the congas and hand percussion do in that context.
whether it was a class or concert, these students had an opportunity to learn from the artists in the festival. Nick Porath, ATV News.
Chris Chiansen says they'll plan to expand and bring in bigger artists in the coming years.
When you picture meeting the author of your favorite book, do you imagine drumming on trash cans? McKay Jensen will show us how two authors teamed up to unveil their newest books.
You might not expect to meet your favorite author like this, but these kids are here because they love to read these books. Well, some of them.
They're good. I think the ending on the 5th book isn't very good, though.
Typically, the library is a quiet place, but today is not an ordinary day.
We wanted to incorporate ideas from both of our stories, so potion making, but then with Wishbreaker, it was breaking things. And he's just such a natural musical talent that we had to have the Jammin' Janitors, because that was from the Janitor series.
Filling the room with people, the authors stayed 3 hours after their performance to take pictures and sign books. Fans interacted with characters and objects from the stories.
I mean, Tyler and Frank, I mean, they're really, well known. So I'm not surprised, that they have the fans that they do of their books, and so it's great to see that we had a good turnout for this event.
Your name? Isabel.
I think it turned out great. I think the music, the drumming was fantastic. The mixing the potions went just as disgusting as I hoped it would, and it was great. And I thought the skit was funny, so yeah, I think it turned out good. I'm happy, and we had a good turnout, so it was awesome.
McKay Jensen, ATV News.
Both authors will be going on tour for the next 4 months to showcase their new books.
If school is becoming stressful, you may find some relief in the library every week. Inside Merrill Kazir, you can find therapy dogs waiting for your attention. Psychology researchers say petting and cuddling with service dogs can lower stress and anxiety, while boosting your energy and motivation. The dog owners invite all students to stop by. You can find the furry friends every Tuesday inside the library from 2 to 3 p.m. Thank you for joining us on this edition of ATV News. You can find our show and other content on our Facebook page.
We'll leave you with a few shots of Cache Valley.